Hello, welcome, Watercolor Mindfulness students. I just love these videos, and I love how art can really transform your emotions and your thoughts. And once you put it onto paper, it stays on the paper, and it's so much fun. So today is a mindfulness activity all about relaxing your mind, relaxing your body. And I find myself doing this exercise often. And it's an exercise on clouds, on painting clouds, and anyone and everyone can paint them. They're super easy. I don't know if I'm totally done with this piece, but it sure makes me happy. So I have my note that says that I paint clouds to feel relaxed. Blue is a calming color, and clouds are very ambiguous. And so you can't really go wrong. And it's just a great relaxing activity to see the colors blend on the paper and to just enjoy the art of painting in watercolors. So for this activity, I definitely recommend watercolor paper. 140 pound is perfect. And this is a 9x12. So I'm just going to tear this in half. So then it's more 6x9. And then that way, if I really like it, it can be a 5x7 that I could put in a frame. And so I'm just going to tear the watercolor paper. If you are going to do this along with me, I recommend pausing the video or watching how I do this, and then just pausing the video when you're done with that step, and then go on to the next step. But what you'll need is your watercolor paper, whatever size, whatever you feel like. This is a A2 card size panel because I will probably make this into a card. And this is 5.5 by 4.25. This one is 6x9. You are going to want a round brush, or you could probably use a flat brush, but I like a round brush. This is a size 10 round brush, so a medium round brush. And then your favorite blues. The blues that I am using is going to be Ultramarine, a little bit of Indigo, Lavender from Daniel Smith. It's really just titanium white and ultramarine blue mixed together, and then Cerulean. And those are the three real 4-ish colors that I will be using. And so as I start, my objective is to feel more relaxed. I feel very, I don't want to say tense, but I'm definitely feeling the feels of I have too much going on and I just need to relax. So what I'm going to do is paint clouds. Clouds are very soothing for me. I love looking at the clouds. It brings me joy looking at the clouds. And so that's what I'm going to paint, something that makes me happy. So blue in itself is a very calming blue. There's color psychology, and I will put some lists down of what blue does. But color psychology basically is the study of color and how it affects your psyche or your feelings or emotions. And so blue has been known to cause a calming effect on people, and I would have to agree with that. And so when I put different types of blue down, it'll do different things, right? So usually clouds, I don't always like to paint clouds this way, but it makes me so happy when I do. So I just put a little bit of wash down. I don't want to be straight across. I want it to be kind of diagonal. I'm going to go straight in with this ultramarine blue. Very, very, just straight from the palette. I'm going to put some right down here. And get my brush with a little bit. And then go straight into my palette again. And I'm just going to add a line right where that water ended. That's pretty. Oftentimes I will use 2 brushes, but I'm doing this one today, but you could use one just for water and one just for pigment. And as I'm painting, I'm just looking at the pigment move on the paper, and it's really pretty. I'm going to add some of that lavender in because it's so pretty, and it also helps with it's just so pretty. I think there's probably a little bit of violet, not just ultramarine. There's probably a little bit of red or some kind of violet mixed in with the Daniel Smith lavender. I haven't actually studied that pigment as well as I should. I just know I love it. but you could if you were very curious. And my idea here is I want the whole paper to blend with blues. I can also take this like a paper towel, and if I wanted a little bit more, I can just take the paper towel and just dab off a little bit so it looks like there's clouds. Maybe I will do that just right there too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see as we go along. But really, this is just a mindfulness practice because I'm watching the watercolor mix on the paper and I'm deciding how much water I want. Do I want it really juicy? Do I want it very like dry? It's all up to you. And I'm going to take some of the cerulean. Usually I put cerulean up above, but that didn't happen. Actually, this is cobalt. Cobalt blue, not cerulean, but cerulean would also work. Sometimes when I'm out of cerulean, I'll use cobalt. It kind of does the same thing. It's just cobalt is a little more, it packs more of a punch. Anyways, and I'm definitely about splattering and making messes. That's probably why my art is a bit more flowy. And I also like to watch the blue just kind of mix and mingle with that water that I just got down. And I'm okay with just watching it flow. The sky, well, most skies, you know, the clouds move from west to east. At least in Iowa it does. And so I always think that I'm moving the clouds that way. But maybe your clouds move a different way. I'd love to know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We're just having fun. And we're making art in the midst of it. Now, I don't always love having a whole blue straight line, so I'm going to just take my brush, erase it, and this is all part of the fun. Really, I paint clouds to feel relaxed, but I also paint clouds to feel like I'm in control of things. Sometimes when we're not relaxed, it's because we feel like we're not in control. So I paint clouds to also feel like I'm in control of at least this painting. I like that. I'm loving this texture that I'm getting. I don't want to put too dark. When I get down here, I'm going to put like a strip of green and a strip of indigo, very much like this. But I kind of like how this is shaping up, so I'm going to continue that. I haven't put very much lavender on, so let's see what happens when I put some lavender right underneath that cobalt. Oh, so pretty. And then since it's blending really well, I'm just going to help it blend. There we go. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. I'm loving how this ultramarine and lavender is just like totally mingling on the paper. I'm going to try and do that again over down here. But this time I'm going to add a little less ultramarine because we're getting down by the horizon. And I'm going to have a cloud that breaks further here. Yeah, that's really quite lovely. Oh. So the trick here with the clouds is you just want to take your time and realize the whole painting doesn't have to be full of blue. And you're mixing and mingling your colors. And that's really a great way to make clouds. Another way that I like to make clouds is I'll take this ultramarine blue and I'll just dab a little bit right here. So I got this nice beaded watercolor happening. I'm going to clean my brush so there's just water on my brush and it's drippy almost. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to let the water flow down. You can tilt your paper and you get this beautiful, that's another way to make clouds that I enjoy painting with. And I cannot seem to get enough of this lavender. I don't know if it's the summer or what, but oh my gosh, like those clouds are that lavender is always a fun one to use. I'm going to take a little bit of this Cobalt. I'm going to knock it right into this Lavender. And I'm going to just do that. I'm going to let this Lavender Cobalt mix on the paper. There, that's so pretty. Now, if you find that you just totally felt like your blues are not mixing, go ahead and use your paper towel and just add in some extra texture wherever you think might need it. You just a little dab will do ya. You don't want to overkill it, but I think that looks like a beautiful sky right there. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to start on my landscape so I don't forget to do that. Just a simple green and dark landscape. It is about the simplest landscape, but I enjoy it. Here is some cascading green. This one. This one is just a simple green. It does kind of do its thing if you let it. And I always get splatters. I'm okay with cleaning it up because it is a sky after all. And they could become birds. It can become whatever you want it to be. But usually you can clean up the splatter. Okay, while this is still wet, I'm going to go straight into my Indigo. And I'm going to just put some Indigo right on top of the green that's already wet. Something like that. Now I'm going to clean my brush. It's a damp brush with water on it, and I'm going to clear up this edge. And I'm okay if the edge is not perfectly straight because my horizon line is down here, not up there. But again, this is just a fun activity. Even if your horizon line isn't straight, it's okay. You're trying to feel relaxed. So if you're feeling relaxed, you are doing it right. Oh, this makes me so happy. I'm just enjoying the process of this moment. Maybe these are trees in the background in the distance. I don't know. Or maybe they're hills with some trees. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we are painting to feel relaxed. And it reminds me of a beautiful summer day. So now that this is pretty dry up here, I could go in and darken this a little bit. This is probably good, but I do want a little bit more dark here. So, because this is just a mindfulness exercise and I want to take my time, I give myself 15-20 minutes. I'm going to use up all 15-20 minutes. So now I'm just negative painting. I want to keep the white of that cloud. But I also just I want soft edges. That's what's helping me relax, is softening my edges. And while I'm thinking about softening my edges, I'm thinking about how to soften my thoughts. What thoughts do I need to let go? What thoughts do I need to really think about? Kind of let my brain just rest when I can. But thoughts will keep popping in, and it's up to you if you want to entertain them or not. I don't always want to entertain my thoughts when I'm painting, so I've learned to block them out. And I block them out by just focusing on the art. I think that's why it's so hard to teach art, is because artists in general want to just block out the world and just paint. Now I'm okay to have a hard edge right there. I think that'll actually work from my advantage. But I think right here, I'm gonna add just a teeny bit of ultramarine, just enough to pack a punch a little bit. And I put some water down, so it's just gonna kind of bleed in. And you see, it's just going to be a nice little accent to the cloud. I'm going to add a little bit of lavender, I think, right in here. Just a little bit. I don't want a whole lot. But I do want it to look like it's more of a cloud. There's a lot going on in these clouds, it looks like. All right, I think I might call this done. There's a couple more. I feel like I need something maybe red in here. And when I don't quite know what, I just add lavender because it's so gorgeous. It's my favorite. Okay. Oh yeah, right there. See what it needed. And now it needs a little bit more cobalt. Get that cleaned up. I feel like the cobalt maybe be a little more bossier than I expected it to. I think it'll be all right. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to call that one done. That one's looking really pretty. And I'm really loving this over here. It's just very light in the background. I'm going to add another. I'm going to pack a punch right down here. Again, I got my beautiful horizon line. I'm just going to add another layer just to give the hills a little bit more depth. And a little bit more of that cascading green that I absolutely love. And that's just going to blend into the indigo. All right. I think I'm going to let this dry now and kind of do a reflection. Reflections are important because this is having a reflection. Part of this helps us move forward. And so while this is drying, I can reflect. All right, here are my questions that I have. How do you feel while painting? How did I feel while I was painting? I did feel more relaxed. I did this one first, but this will be a guided meditation for you guys. But I felt very much like I had too many things on my plate and I just needed a brain break. And so when I painted, that to-do list went out the door, and I feel more revitalized and more productive now that I took some time for my brain to just stop thinking and to actually enjoy something that I enjoy doing. So I felt good. I felt like this was a good use of my time. Any thoughts that I had during my painting reflection? I did have some thoughts when I was just painting for myself. I was thinking about a couple of things that are very important to me, like my daughter and her school right now, and I want to follow up with her on that. So that was a thought that I know is important. Another thought that I had was how grateful I am to be able to see these beautiful skies In the summer, I love looking at summer skies, and it gives me a lot of joy and gratitude when I see beautiful blues and whites in the sky on a beautiful summer day. How did I feel when painting? Yeah, I kind of went over that. I feel happy. I feel calmer and relaxed, and that was partly due because of the colors that I chose. I know that if I were to use an orange or yellow sun, like a totally different skyscape, maybe I would feel more energized, but for this one I feel very calm and like peaceful. What helped me during this process? Something that helped me was I realized that I could like be the one to decide where I want my whites to be, where I wanted my blues to be, and that I was in control of this painting. When so many things are out of your control, it's nice to feel like you're in control of something. Did the mindfulness experience help me while like with the distraction? Like, was this the distraction that I needed? I believe that this distraction was what I needed at the time that I needed it. And what I mean by that is I have a very busy week, and this is the perfect distraction for me. I really needed this brain break. And didn't reject my habits or my thoughts. It actually did. I'm trying to lose weight, and it's not always easy to lose weight. But so I needed a distraction. I will turn to chocolate. And instead of turning to chocolate, I painted. And now that chocolate craving went away. And so did it redirect my thoughts? Absolutely. Did it redirect my habit? Yes, it did. So this was a win. Oh my gosh. I feel like I could continue onward and upward and still make good choices throughout my day. And this was a big key to those choices. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. This watercolor mindfulness really became a thing for me because I love art therapy, but I am not an art therapist. I just enjoy art therapy exercises. It's now all my thoughts and my emotions are on the paper. You might think I could paint this again in 2 days from now, and maybe my clouds will look totally different because my mood and my feelings and my thoughts are totally different. So art therapy for me is a huge part of my life, and I'm grateful to share this with you guys. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Happy painting.